Good morning, everyone. As people start filing in, I'm Christy Strauss. I have Scott Whitman with me today, and he's going to be our presenter for Life Secure. Scott is our rep. He's with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. He's the specialty benefits manager there, and he handles the Life Secure plan. He's going to tell us why we should be offering ancillary benefits, specifically Life Secure. Um, so he's got a really interesting slideshow to show us all. I'm going to interject my 2 cents here and again, mainly because Life Secure is my absolute most favorite ancillary plan. And I'll tell you why just before we get started, because I own it. My friends and family own these plans. They've all claimed on it. And when rubber meets the road, I'll tell you something, guys, it's all about the claims. And when you have a good claim experience, your clients love you. That makes all the difference. Wouldn't you agree, Scott?
Oh, I absolutely agree. And it's the best thing about Life Secure. Anybody who has any experience, obviously you have a lot of experience coming from Life Secure. We have a lot of great experiences with claims. We know everybody from the top of the company to the bottom. We know Pat, the CEO. We know all the agent support people really well. We know Gina from claims. We know the policyholder services support people. So it's really easy to get things done when you know everybody.
Correct. I'm going to mute myself, but everybody is actually on mute. I'm going to field some questions as they come in. Or we can wait till the end, or as you go through each segment, I'll stop and you can ask
Yeah,
me, do we have any
that's
questions?
all right. You can interrupt me at any point. No
Okay,
big deal.
sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Christy. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Like Christy said, I'm Scott Whitman from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. You may say, why is Scott from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan talking about Life Secure? Life Secure is wholly owned by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. And like Christy and I were just talking about, we know everybody from top of the company to the bottom. It's very easy to get things done. Located right here in New Hudson, right inside this building you see here. So I know Pat Pritchard really well, the CEO over there. I know all the agent support people. And the great thing about it is if I'm out of town, I just actually was on a cruise recently, didn't have a cell phone, didn't have internet. I had no service at all. I didn't even buy the internet package. And Justine and Diane over there, who have all been there since 2006, all took care of all the agents while I was gone. I literally came back to no emails and no voicemails. It was amazing. It was the greatest thing ever. So you'll get to know them if you ever call into agent support, but obviously I'll give you my cell phone number, my email address at the end of this, and you're free to call me 10 times a day if need be. You can call me anytime you want to. So I am always available. So like I said, Life Secure is located right here in New Hudson, right off of 96, and been around since 2006, started in long-term care business, and then just a few years back, we did a pivot strategy over to the products that we'll talk about here today. So, and I'll kind of show you this just so you get an idea. There are other products out there, if you can see along the bottom here, that are available. So if you ever come across a client where you think, hey, I don't have that product to offer my client, you're more than welcome to give me a call and we'll find that product for you. So we always brag at Life Secure about helping our clients protect their finances, plan for the future, and provide for the unexpected. And as we go through the actual products here, you'll see exactly how those products do that for your clients. So we're going to talk specifically about the accident, critical illness, and our hospital recovery. We actually did just change the name. It's Hospital Indemnity. So I will update that slide. And whenever we talk about these products, I don't know how many of you have seen this out there in other presentations. I love this slide. It's great. Whenever we think about, our clients as we're going through the different medical plans, we always think about the copays, the out-of-pocket expenses, deductibles, things that are above the waterline, right? a lot of times we don't consider these things below the waterline, and your clients won't either unless you point it out to them. So a business owner, they're going to have lost wages, right? They're going to need to make up for that income. These products are a great way to do that. Let's say somebody passes away. The great thing about our accident plan is there's extra benefits in there that'll help a client pay for their funeral expenses, as well as the accident part of it itself. So they could pay their mortgage payments, their car payments. If they need help mowing their lawn, they need transportation, they're welcome to use this money however they see fit. So they can always make payment arrangements with a hospital if they're in the hospital, if need be, and they can use the money that they get to make their mortgage payment. They don't have to worry about, let's say, skipping a house payment, worry about losing their house, worry about claiming bankruptcy, things like that. So that's kind of where these products come in to help our clients protect what they have as they go through life. So 61% of all Americans and 77% of Americans who make less than $50,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck. And you know what? I'll even say it goes, and it's 61%. I have a perfect example. My son and his wife, they make actually well beyond 50,000. They live paycheck to paycheck. They're getting their money and they're spending it like nobody's business. So we know what happens as the cost of everything. We're seeing the cost of everything go up. People need to protect their money as they go forward. If something happens unexpectedly, like an illness, an accident, they need to protect what they have. 47% of Americans have less than $25,000 saved. Shocking, scary. When I turned 40, I started thinking about retiring. I want to retire when I'm 59 and a half. So I started really focusing more on the stock market and that. So this number really terrifies me. 24% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved. That's outrageous. 62% of all bankruptcies were medical in nature, and 75% of those people had medical insurance. We know the deductibles, the out-of-pockets, they're really high. So if your client, let's say, has a $9,100 out-of-pocket, has a terrible accident, let's say they have to pay out $9,100, they can't afford that. So that's where these products come in, and you'll see exactly how they will help your client protect their finances, and they'll be able to use that additional money not only to pay medical bills, but a lot of instances they'll make even more than the actual cost, and you'll kind of see how. But we're going to start with our accident insurance. To me, this is the best insurance policy out there. This is absolutely amazing how it works, how it pays out. It is different than any other accident plan that you're going to come across, and you'll see exactly how in just a minute. What do we talk about when we talk about with accident? What's an accident? You'll see here, slip and fall. There's some policies out there that don't cover sports injuries. There's some policies out there that won't cover a car accident. This pays separate from any type of insurance that you have in force above and beyond anything else. This will still pay no matter if you're on workman's comp, if your car accident's covering your injuries, this will still pay your client, and it pays based off of explanation of benefits. So your client can get an EOB, $10,000 is the amount on there. Let's say they have an 80% coverage on that. So 20% copay, they have to fork out $2,000. As long as the benefit amount that you offered your client is $10,000 or beyond, they will get that full $10,000 amount. So great thing about it is you sell this policy, and how do we sell it? We sell it based off of deductibles or max out of pockets. That's what we want to protect our client against, right? So as we're selling it, if somebody has a $9,100 deductible, I'm going to sell them a $10,000 accident. And you're truly protecting them against that. So it's a very easy thing to offer, very easy sale, when all the other accident plans out there are going to pay different set amounts for different type of injuries. This is really easy to talk about in a minute. So I want you guys to think about that kind of as we go through. Think about questions that you can basically ask your clients where you can introduce the products as we go through them here. Well, there's 3 different types of accident plans out there. One's a scheduled benefit. You can see the companies that offer that scheduled benefit. What that is a set amount for different types of injuries. Coordination of benefits is going to be, it's offsetting whatever your insurance plan doesn't cover. So if your insurance plan doesn't cover 2,000, 2,000 is going to be the limit that your client will get paid. With our plan, nothing else matters. It's paying based off of EOBs. All your client does is turn in the claim form EOBs, and they're getting paid next day once they turn that in, as long as they set up an electronic funds transfer. So they'll get paid very quickly. And like I said, they can use that money however they choose to. So if you have a client, let's say, that has a $10,000 benefit amount, and they'll, like I said, they paid $2,000 for their medical bills, they have an extra $8,000, they want to protect themselves maybe till the end of the year. They take that $8,000, put it in a bank account, tell them January rolls around, they're starting over, right, with their full $10,000 amount again. And what are they going to use that $8,000 for? They can go on vacation. They can do whatever they want with it. Go buy themselves, go do that home renovation they wanted to do. They can use that money however they see fit. Let's talk a little bit about the actual product features itself. And we'll talk about a couple of statistics here that are a little mind-boggling. 1 out of 7 Americans seek medical care due to injuries each year. More than 90% of accidents are non-traffic related. I wouldn't be surprised by this next stat. I would think most people would think this way. Falls are the leading cause of accidental injuries among Americans in every age group. So I do see a place where this does fit with Medicare Advantage. So maybe we offer our clients a smaller amount just up to that max out of pocket. It's highly unlikely they'll get to that max out of pocket, but they can obviously make some extra money in that. We know they're on, on a budget, right? So they need to protect what they have. They'll have a little bit of extra money there so they can use for some of the expenses that they may have. Because we saw with that glacier, the things under the waterline, maybe somebody gets out of the hospital after an accident, they're not going to be raring to go, right? They're going to have some issues getting around. Maybe they need transportation. Maybe they need somebody to come clean their house or clean up their dog poop or mow their lawn, things like that. So maybe some things that they have never, had to rely on somebody else for or had to pay somebody else for, that may be something that they may need to do. And you should be able to see that with those Medicare clients, how this product can actually fit in. So more than 2.6 million children under the age of 19 are treated in emergency departments each year for sports and recreation related injuries. What does that mean? Who is this perfect for? Families, right? We know all the kids are out there playing sports. Couples are playing golf. They're playing softball, doing a lot of different activities, right? People are a lot more, I don't even know, athletic, I guess, at later ages in life than they were ever before. So they're out there doing a lot more activities. We see a lot more injuries due to that fact.
And
So,
Scott, I'll
yes.
just give you a quick, and I think I told you about this the other day when I was setting this up with you. In January, my husband was getting ready to take the dogs for a walk, and it was right after the first of the year. There was just a little bit of ice. You couldn't even see it on our front porch. And as he was walking down the stairs, he slipped and fell on his left shoulder, completely did a tear on his rotator cuff. Had surgery February 12th. He's in rehab now. Because he retired, I almost dropped the accident policy because I have a Life Secure hospital on him in an accident, but I didn't because I kind of know how he works and he's a little sloppy around the house with his work habits. But I kept it, and I'm so glad I did, because he sent me a video from the Ring doorbell of what happened while I was at work in a meeting. And I said, oh boy, this is going to be fun. And we just settled up, and he just had a benefit bank of $5,000, and we got $5,000 delivered electronically to our bank account. It was $26,000 when it was all said and done. because he had surgery and everything. And
Yeah.
he's now going through physical therapy. But you know, we have good insurance and $1,000 deductible, but the rest of it, it's in the bank. I mean,
Yeah.
it's well worth it. It's
Yeah.
definitely well worth it.
Yep. And to be honest with you, I love hearing stories like that. So
Yeah.
we know as salespeople, we don't care about the underwriting, you know what I mean, the claims. We don't care about all that stuff, right? But I love hearing the stories about the claims,
Right.
just because it's such a great company to
Right.
deal with when it comes to the actual claims process. It's awesome.
It's nice.
So
It's
I
nice.
always love hearing those stories
Right.
from the clients directly. So, and I'll give you a quick one. Uh, Working for Blue Cross, you can imagine I have very low out-of-pocket expenses.
Right.
So I do have a $5,000 accident though. My daughter snowboards, plays all kinds of sports, does all kinds of things. I play softball. I do a lot of things. So my wife, not so much, but that's beside the point. So my daughter, we're out camping. My daughter swims out to this floating dock. She falls, hits her back on the side of the floating dock, falls in the water, gets out of the water, complains to my wife for a few minutes, and then goes about her day, goes and plays. The next day she wakes up, complains to my wife. My wife takes her to the doctor. She goes back 2 weeks after for another doctor visit. Then they send her to 6 physical therapy visits. We have a $10 copay per visit. So we paid only $80 out of pocket for all this. I received payment for $1,200 once I turned in all the EOBs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's nice.
Yep. And
It's
you know what?
nice.
Some people may say, oh, I didn't offer it to them because their out-of-pocket expenses were so low. Me as a client, when I first started with Blue Cross, and Rob kind of explained to me how the product worked, I was like, "What? Seems insane. Why does this pay out like this? How does this pay out like this?" So I would be almost offended as a client if my agent wasn't telling me about this particular product.
Right. Right.
So never ever count anybody out. We got to get in the habit. We got to do it our own way, right? We got to figure out our own questions to ask, things like that. And
That's
we'll
right.
talk about that a little bit at the end.
Okay.
But we still got to be repetitive in our process and make sure that we're getting these things into our regular everyday process. And it doesn't have to be with these products. You'll see it doesn't have to be
Right.
20 minutes even. You can talk about these products in minutes.
In
It's a
minutes.
very, very easy product. All 3 of them, very easy and very easy to explain. So anything else from you, Christy? Or are we
No,
going to move
that's
on?
it. I just had to share that because
Yep.
we all have accidents.
Yep. Great story. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about a few of the product features on the accident. The issue ages are 18 to 75. We did recently just change that renewable age up to 85. So if you sell it to a Medicare client, somebody 64, obviously, they do get to keep it. It used to only go up to, I think, 74. So now we can see, obviously, extending up to 85. It's very reasonably priced, too, and it is not age rated. So that's awesome if you're offering this to anyone. But obviously, the under 64 or under 65 clients, super popular, offering the deductible amount, the out-of-pocket or the max out-of-pocket amount. Benefit amounts range from $2,500 to $50,000 in $100 increments. We got to figure out what makes sense, though. So we're always going to find our own favorite plan with anything, right? It'll be the same thing with these. What are our favorite amounts to offer? What medical plans do I offer? What makes sense with that medical plan for my clients? It is 24/7 coverage on and off the job. Why do we say that? Workman's comp, right? So this does pay in addition to any other types of insurance that you have in force. Like we talked about earlier, there is no coordination of benefits. It pays in addition to any other types of insurance that you have. We talked about this as well, reimbursement policy, not a scheduled benefit plan. How about this one? Accidental death benefit automatically built in, $10,000 on the primary and spouse, $5,000 on each child. Obviously, another great thing built in here. This will help pay any expenses, as your client obviously is going to be facing one of the worst times in their life or death, right? Obviously, their family has a lot to deal with, so maybe this can help out a little bit. You do need to seek treatment. This is key within 1 week of the accident. Doesn't matter who you see. You can see doctor, urgent care. You can go to a chiropractor. Doesn't matter. But you do need to seek treatment within 1 week of the injury. There is a $0 or $500 deductible. I prefer 0. I'll show you real quick a couple of sample rates, and you'll see the difference in the $0 and the $500 deductible. I don't think it's worth it. I want to make it easy on my client. I want them getting paid from $1. So I love the $0 deductible. We're going to kind of talk about, give you a real easy example, very easy to understand. You can see Donna here has an accident plan of $10,000, turns in her EOBs. That amount is $8,800 on those EOBs. She has got a $500 deductible. She's paid $8,800 minus $500 for a total of $8,300. So pretty easy, right? And you can see just, I wanted to note here, the $0 deductible goes up to $15,000 for individuals and $25,000 for couples and families. But the great thing about it is those numbers are well beyond max out-of-pocket costs. So if I want to add a little bit more in, they can. So here you can see the $0 deductible. So let's look at a $10,000 for a whole family. Everybody's included in that. It's $67.69. We bump up to $15 because I think that's probably on a lot of the high deductible plans going to be a lot closer to the max out of pocket for a family. You can see that amount $84.85. And we're talking, remember, we know how much insurance costs, right? So maybe we do save our client a little bit of money, switch them from a PPO plan to a high deductible health plan, and we offset some of those costs with an accident and critical illness. And you can kind of see as I flip back and forth here, that 15,000, 73.13 for the family, 84.85, $10, $11. I don't think it's worth it to take the first $500. But obviously, you and your client make that decision. And like I said, you're going to pick the best plans that make sense for the plans that you're offering to your client. So initial care, we talked about 7 days. Rehab has to be within 90 days. This is all on the plan at a glance. So if you have the plan at a glance, which I'll send you guys, Christy may have it too. So I'll send her a link that she can send out that has all the Life Secure materials on it. Just click, you can send them to your clients however you want, but it's a link, takes you directly to all the Life Secure dual branded materials. So rehab therapy, like I said, up to 10 visits, not within 90 days. Surgery does have to be within 6 months, and you can have up to 2 per accident. The one exception here is going to be the diagnostic exam. You see it says up to $750 per exam, 1 per accident per covered family member. So you can only, it's not going to be different for them filing the claim though. They're still going to turn in their EOBs, but they're only going to get paid up to $750 for that diagnostic exam. So, and I'll give you a quick example and we'll move on. My daughter snowboarding in the winter, came home and she's holding her shoulder. Oh, my shoulder hurts so bad. But she's like, oh, my wife and I were like, oh, let's make a doctor's appointment for tomorrow. She's like, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm like, you're not fine. You're going. Because what do they, I know what they're going to do. They're going to send her for an MRI, right? Check it out. So that's, even though they found out nothing was wrong, I still got paid $750 for that. So I tell everybody, every accident, doesn't matter what it is. It could be the smallest thing. You know, you go to the doctor, that you can file a claim, especially with a $0 deductible, right? All right. Are there any questions about the accident at all, Christy?
I'm looking. No questions so far.
All right. All right. Let's talk about the
Good job.
critical illness. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, doing a good job.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about our critical illness. This is our least popular product by a lot too, and which surprises me because you're going to see some rates here that I think make this product a must, especially for younger people. So we got to let our clients know that they're not invincible, right? There are people out there. Haley Bieber sitting at a kitchen table with Justin Bieber, 25 years old. This is about 6 months ago, has a stroke. Did she expect that to happen? Absolutely not. So not everybody's got Haley Bieber money, right? So great thing about this product, and you'll see for what your client can get paid, it's extremely affordable. And we know when somebody's diagnosed with cancer, somebody has a heart attack, somebody has a stroke, it's very likely that they're going to live now, right? Back in the day, different story, but we need to supplement our clients' income for those unexpected events. And this is a great way to do it. The odds of developing cancer are 1 in 2 in men and 1 in 3 in women. How insane is that to think about? And I actually saw something recently. I was reading the Washington Post, and it said, I'm pretty sure the number is closer to 54% of all people, which is absolutely insane, terrifying, scary. I never want to hear those words from a doctor, and I know your client's not going to want to either. And if they do, they're not going to want to have to think about their finances, right? So we want to keep their stress level low if they're dealing with situations like that. This product here is a great way to do that. So somebody in the United States suffers a heart attack every 40 seconds. Staggering. That number is exactly the same for people diagnosed with cancer, every 40 seconds. Just crazy to think about that. 1/3 of Americans struggle to pay their medical bills. We know that, right? We just saw the statistics about the bankruptcies, including those with insurance. 27% delay or skip getting the healthcare they need due to the cost. We don't want that to happen. We want them to get the healthcare they need. We want your clients to live a long and happy life, right? So we want them to get to the doctor as soon as they possibly can. All right, let's talk about some of the product features. Issue ages are 18 to 70. It's renewable to age 75. Like I talked about earlier, we want to get your clients signed up for this product as soon as they can, and we'll see some of the rates. So my daughter, like I said, she's 21 now. She'll be 22 in April. 18 to 22, that age range for a 50,000 policy, which is the max amount you can offer. $17 a month for a female, 16 for a male. Insane. It stays at that rate for their whole life as well. If I told somebody, hey, for $8 every paycheck, take it out of your paycheck, do you want a $50,000 policy that'll, if you ever are diagnosed with cancer, you have a heart attack, stroke, you'll get paid $50,000? What are most people going to say? Absolutely. They definitely would. So we need to make sure, I feel like this product is not being offered to our clients as much as it really should be. The benefit amounts range from 5 to 50,000. We have to find what makes sense though, right? For a client, especially with the cost. And you'll kind of see how the cost, this is age rated. So you'll see the kind of the costs go up as your client ages, but once they sign up, they're locked in. Spouse benefits are the same as the policyholder. All that means is if you sign your clients up together, they're going to be on the same policy amount. If you want to offer different benefit amounts to a couple, just write them separately. Doesn't take much longer at all. It's actually a very quick policy to write. You're talking minutes. So rate structure is gender-specific nicotine and non-nicotine. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm so sorry if I sound nasally. I am on the 3rd week of a sinus infection. Already went through my antibiotics and it's not gone, so I got to go back to the doctor, but it's just been a nightmare dealing with this. $2,500 in coverage for each child on this policy, no additional cost. It doesn't matter what benefit amount you're selling. Each child under age 26 is going to be eligible for that $2,500 coverage. Automatically built in. There are no riders that you're going to see on this policy. It is a simplified short application process. So where the accident's all guaranteed issue, this is not. You have to ask 4 questions. Remember though, you're the underwriter. Once you look at those questions, you know whether your client's going to qualify or not. So, and that's right when you ask the client, how are you, right? They're going to spill the beans. They're going to tell you everything. You already know if they qualify or not. But always keep in mind, there's other people in that family, right? If you have somebody who's diagnosed with cancer that doesn't qualify for this policy, we need to let them know, hey, you need to sign your kids up for this policy. It's only $16 a month. So we got to keep our minds open as we go through. We got to, sign our clients up. Remember who we're talking to. We never want to limit what we're doing here. We know we're not in this business for charity. We want to make some money, but we also want to be sure we're taking care of our clients as well. Underwriting over 20,000, so anything 25,000 and up will require additional underwriting. So after you do the application and ask the questions, that policy's getting issued next day unless it's 25,000 or above. It does pay benefits for 9 separate conditions, and we'll take a look at those in 1 second. Greatest thing about this policy, look at these next 3. Return of premium minus benefit payouts upon death embedded in the policy. No additional cost for this. If your client passes away before age 75, their beneficiary will get all premiums paid into this policy. There is a reoccurrence benefit and a subsequent diagnosis benefit. Why do we say that? A lot of policies out there that are offered like this are a one and done. This is not. Your client can make claims over and over again. There are restrictions for both, and we'll take a look at those in just 1 second. So here you can see the covered conditions. We obviously see cancer, heart attack, stroke, payouts at 100%. The only one that you cannot do the reoccurrence on is skin cancer. The rest of them, you get paid over and over again. So let's look at this now. Reoccurrence. The reoccurrence has to be separated by 12 months, and it is 50% of the original payout. So if you have a client on a $10,000 benefit amount, keep in mind, if they have cancer, it comes back 2 years later, they're going to get $5,000. It comes back 5 years after that, they're going to get another $5,000. Comes back 5 years after that, they're going to get another $5,000. So that's kind of how that works. After that first benefit, it's going to be cut in half, and that's the amount they're going to get paid for the rest of the life of the policy. The subsequent diagnosis has to be separated by 6 months. So your client gets paid $10,000 on a $10,000 benefit. They have cancer a year later, they have a heart attack. They're going to get another $10,000. My uncle is a perfect example. He does have a critical illness policy, $10,000 benefit. He was diagnosed with stomach cancer years ago, and it was really kind of weird. It was like a year and a half later, he had a reoccurrence, another reoccurrence, then he had a heart attack. And they were all separated by the right amounts. He got paid every time. Obviously, we don't want anybody going through that, but if they have to, we want to be there for them. Like I said, it's a lifetime of the policy. They're going to get paid over and over again. Here you can see the rates, these rates. So this is a male, non-nicotine. You can see a 35-year-old, if I'm offering a $10,000 benefit, $12 a month. $12 a month to protect them if something happens, just so they're not going to have to worry about getting to that $9,100 out of pocket. So we got to think about these. How can we protect our client? This is a great way to do it. Like I said earlier, it's our least popular policy or product, but it's because people aren't offering it to their clients. And we know a lot of clients think they're invincible, right? But everybody has an example. Everybody knows someone. We talk about that all the time. So you could even see a 50-year-old, 10,000, still very affordable, $2,750. So we want to obviously get them as young as we possibly can, but once they get signed on, they're locked in at these rates that you see on the screen here. What is the right product? We kind of talked about this a little bit ago. For cancer, heart attack, stroke, old planning was life insurance, right? Nobody was going to make it back in 1980. We know today, people are living. They get cancer, it's not a death sentence. It's not a death sentence when you have a heart attack. People are living. So we want to be there. We want to really protect our clients. So if they, we don't want them thinking about this $10,000 bill that they just got from the hospital when they're dealing with, as a family, the worst thing in their lives, and they're trying to get, they're stressed. They don't want to have to worry about their finances. And that's where we come in, and we really want to protect our clients. Oh, great questions to ask during a critical illness meeting or any meeting. You know, who's had cancer, heart attack, stroke. We kind of talked about that. Everybody knows someone. Christy and I talked about earlier, stories, how important they are, right? Everyone has a story. Your client has their own story when it comes to this. So they'll see the benefit. We need to make sure that we're presenting this product and not just bypassing this product. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, some long conversation. And we'll kind of talk about that in just a little bit. 4 questions to ask during a CI meeting. Who do you know, or do you know anyone? Everyone knows someone, right? Did they plan on it, or was it unexpected? Of course it was unexpected. Were there unplanned emotional or financial strain on the house? Unplanned or emotional strain on the household? Of course. We know the answer to all these questions. Would cash have helped? Absolutely, it would have helped. We can't think about it after, right? We got to think about these things beforehand and be prepared. Any questions on critical illness at all?
I'm looking. Folks out there, if you have a question, go ahead and type it. And
yeah, feel free to type it at any time. If you think of something, go ahead and type it in there. Like I said, I'll give you my number, my email address at the end, and everybody's free to call me anytime they want.
It's a great
policy. Let's talk.
Yep.
Let's talk about the hospital indemnity here. A few minutes. Hospital indemnity is great. I love it because if my client, and we'll talk about questions in just a minute, but I love it just offsetting that copay, right? What's the first thing your client looks at on a Medicare Advantage plan? That copay. They're not going to like it. So this is a great way to offset that amount. So complements their health insurance protection. And then again, client can get this at age 18. Doesn't matter what age, but where is this the most popular? It's leading into our Medicare age, 64. So provides cash benefits upon discharge from a hospital and assists in the recovery phase following an inpatient or observation hospital stay. So your client can be in observation. They will be covered with this product. They have no idea they're in observation. And if you don't know how long they can be in observation, it's 3 days before they have to be admitted. They have to be admitted after 3 days. And we'll talk about the differences because there are limits in observation and how much your client can get paid. We'll talk about that here in just a second. The average hospital stay is around 4.6 days. Maybe, I would think it's less than that. So that number actually surprises me because obviously they're trying to kick clients out all the time, right? So average cost of a 3-day hospital stay is $14,500. I can vouch for that. My son has type 1 diabetes. He's been in the hospital numerous times, and I've seen those EOBs with the actual costs on it. So very, very expensive. Risk of being hospitalized almost doubles when you reach age 65. Perfect for who? Our Medicare clients, right? Let's take a look at some product features. Issue ages are 18 to 85. Great thing about this product, once you sell it to your client, it stays at that rate, and they never have to worry about it going away. They can keep it for the remainder of their lifetime. Benefit amounts range from $100 to $910 increments. We got to figure out, though, what makes sense. So we're going to really look at, probably in most instances, we're going to look at that copay. Maybe we pad it a little bit, future-proof it, right? We know the copays are going up and up and up every year, but we got to figure out what makes sense for our client, what they can afford, right? So you'll see it very affordable. We'll take a look at some sample rates here in just a few minutes, too. You can choose a benefit amount, 3, 6, 10, or 21 days. So a lot of people like the 6-day, right? We're offsetting the, let's say, Blue Cross Medicare Advantage, 6-day copay. If you have, I think priority may be 7 days. Maybe we bump them up to a 10. There's not a huge difference in actual cost, though, between 6 and 10. So maybe if your client does have, we talked about how if they have their worst time in their life when they're in the hospital, they get out. Maybe we do offer them that 10-day benefit. So if they're in there for a long time, they're padded a little bit, right? They'll get paid a little bit extra money, whereas their Medicare Advantage plan, that copay is only going to be charged for 6 or 7 days. Once they're out of the hospital for 60 days in a row, no matter what benefit amount you sell them, it resets to let's say you sell them a 10-day benefit, they use 5 days, they're out of the hospital for 3 months, but they go back in, they have 10 days again. So it resets back to their full benefit amount after they're out for 60 days. Here's a one exception. Observation coverage is up to 6 days per calendar year. That does not reset till January 1st. So remember, if your client's in the hospital for 6 days, they're going to be 3 days. If they keep them in observation for 3 days, then they have to, move them to inpatient. They're going to get obviously paid for all 6 of those days, but they're only going to have 3 days of observation remaining for the rest of the year. So again, simplified issue here. So 4 questions you ask your client, you'll know if they're approved or not. I forgot something though. Look down at the bottom left here. Guaranteed issue. If your client's aging into Medicare, they're not going to have to answer those questions. So they will be under a guaranteed issue range between ages 64 and a half all the way through age 66. So once they turn 67, you're going to ask them the questions again. But if your client's healthy, obviously they can get that policy. If they're not, unfortunately, after they turn 67, they would have to wait until they fall within the restrictions of meeting the guidelines of those 4 questions. You'll learn the questions, after you look.
Do you know what the look back is on that?
The look back is 12 months for the first 6 months.
Okay.
Okay. So just consider it for pre-X, a 6-month waiting period. Right. So if they've had something that they've been treated for within the last 12 months, they're going to have to wait 6 months before they can make a claim. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right, here you can see the riders down to the bottom right. So there's a lump sum hospital admission rider. There's an outpatient surgery rider. There's an ER and ambulance rider. There's an outpatient major diagnostic exam rider. And you guys will know quite a bit about their medical plans and how these can fit in. Maybe this does, maybe you do offer this to somebody under 65 because I want them to have that outpatient surgery rider. So maybe I'm going to offer them that $500. There also is a rehab or skilled nursing rider. Love this because a lot of agents don't factor in the fact, how is your client going to reach that out-of-pocket max on a Med Advantage? Skilled nursing is a way to do that, especially if they're in there for, let's say, 100 days. They're probably going to meet that out-of-pocket max, right? This is a great way to protect them against that. And it's very low cost, too. So here you can see just an example real quick. Sam has a $300 benefit amount. He's got 10 days per period of confinement. He's hospitalized for 4 days after a back surgery. He's paid $1,200. Makes sense, right? 300 times 4, $1,200. Sam gets out of the hospital. He has an allergic reaction. He's only in observation for 1 day. He's going to get paid another $300. Remember, though, he's got 5 days of observation per calendar year. But once he's out of that hospital for 60 days, he's going to have his full 10-day allotment back. So Sam will still get paid for 5 more days within that 60-day period if he does go back in the hospital. Here you can see some sample rates. This is a $300 benefit amount. So age 64, it's $21. And then you can see at age 65, this is why we want to get them when they're 64 and a half, right? Or maybe if you do have a client that's 64, hey, sign up for this policy now, save $5 a month for your lifetime. So they turn 65, it goes up to 26. But remember, it stays at whatever rate that you get them. I'm going to tell you something really great about this product too. If you have a client that's 64, you do see how the self and spouse is $37.93. Your client can have a spouse that's 66. There's, as long as it's written under the policy holder is listed as a 64-year-old, they're both going to get that $37 rate. So saves a ton of money for couples if you write the lower aged person as the primary. LifeSecure knows all about it. It's not a secret. They said they factored it in with the rates, but you can see how a couple, it's kind of a nice thing, right, to offer this product. If you have 2 people that are near Medicare age, you probably want to get them signed up together and you can kind of show them.
So there's a question here.
Yeah.
So if they get the 65 at 65, will they have to reapply at 67?
No, 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 no. Once they're in, they're in.
Yeah, gotcha.
You can sell this to a client that's 20. They
Oh,
develop type 1 diabetes. It doesn't matter.
okay,
You know, they still have it for the rest of their life.
gotcha.
I hounded my son. So I told you he has type 1 diabetes, but in and out of the hospital over and over again. Well, I told his wife because she's a lot more responsible than he is. But I said, hey, you guys need to check your medical plans. If they offer this, you need to sign up for this. So finally, she's always looking for better jobs. She's out there, you know, she's really aggressive with looking for jobs. She was looking through the medicals at her latest job that she just got, called me right up and said, hey, this is what they're offering. I'm like, take it, get in there. So it's very low cost for somebody his age, but he needs it. So, I mean, there's been years where he's been in the hospital 3 times in a year.
Oh, wow.
So, and they're getting slammed, right, with their out of pockets every year. So, really, we shouldn't be limiting this to our Medicare clients, but it obviously fits right in with the Medicare Advantage plan.
Right.
There is a lump sum hospital admission rider you can see here. You could offer 500 or 1,000. We want to know what makes sense though with the Medicare plans that we're offering our clients. So I think on this one, the 500's a lot more popular than the 1,000. And obviously, a lot of it has to do with the actual costs because the cost does double with 1,000. But you can see here, 64-year-olds, 1054. It's 1180 for a 65-year-old, and that's in addition to the daily benefit amount. So they'd get 500 plus their daily benefit amount that they're in for. Outpatient surgery rider, you could offer 500 or 1,000. It must be an outpatient surgery. Seems like a pretty silly thing for me to put on there, but you'd be surprised at some of the questions I get asked on this one. So it must be an outpatient surgery, no other exceptions. It's got to be. So again, here 500, very popular on this one. 64-year-old 1181, 65-year-old 1380. But you can see somebody, if you're selling it to somebody who's younger, like if I sell it to a 29-year-old, $3.32. So a huge difference. And remember, stays at that rate for their lifetime. ER ambulance rider. So ER is up to 2 days per calendar year. It's $150 payout. Remember, if they get taken by ambulance, you're going to get $300. So 150 for the ambulance, 150 for the ER. They get taken by air, they're going to get paid $500 for that. So that those two are once per calendar year. And here you can see the rate: 64-year-old, $4. 65-year-old goes up to $5.69. Get somebody, you know, actually 49 and under, it's $2.03. Diagnostic exam, $500 payout. That's the only option here, and it's got to be one of these 3: CT, MRI, EEG. 64-year-old, $12.96. 65-year-old, $14.52. But again, if I'm offering it to a 29-year-old, you can see how much less expensive it is at $3.63. So rehab skilled nursing, always something to think about here. You can offer days 1 through 20 and or days 21 through 100. People may think to themselves, why would I offer days 1 through 20 on a Medicare Advantage? They're not paying for that. But we also talked about how your client's dealing with a lot of other things they've never dealt with before. So some extra money may come in handy, and you'll see on this, hey, maybe we offer them a $100 benefit for days 1 through 20. We offer them a $200 benefit from days 21 through 100. Why would we do that? Because their skilled nursing copay is going to be $188 a day, right, for days 21 through 100. So we can see how that $188 can build up real quick if they're in there for a while. Well, let's look at the rates. $200 a day, 64-year-olds, $812. Pretty inexpensive. 65-year-olds, $1040. And then let's just look at, for an example, that $100 a day for a 64-year-old. Throw that on there, $2.93 for that benefit. So pretty inexpensive. Here's the 4 questions, simplified. Obviously, you can look at the application. So you can, on Life Secure on your agent portal, pull up the application if you want to print out the page that has the 4 questions on. Punch holes in it if you have a binder that you keep your information in. Throw that in behind the plan at a glance. The plan at a glance is awesome. It's a 1-sheet document that has all the information of the products on it. So it's great to keep in a binder if you have, with some of your other medical information. Yes to these questions, though, does disqualify the applicant unless they fall within that guaranteed issue age. Here's what the actual application looks like. As you're completing the application online, I do want to tell you, though, you're not checking these boxes. So you're literally clicking a button. If you know the answer is no, you click a button, next question pops in. So you're clicking it over and over and over again. It literally takes 10 seconds to answer all these questions on an application. I like this example. I'm going to make this part very quick, though. Mike, you can see here, owns his own business, 67. His copay, you can see, is $325, right? He has a cold, takes a turn for worse, develops pneumonia. He's in the hospital for 5 days. I'm skipping here because I love this example because Mike has a $300 benefit, which he's going to get paid for those 5 days, $1,500, right? If we look here, his cost share is $1,625. Doesn't cover that. But look what Mike lost with his business. So he lost wages. He had to buy an air purifier, $1,540. That $1,500, like we said, he can use that money however he wants. So he could use that for his everyday expenses, make his house payment, whatever he needs to do with it. And then he can make payment arrangements with that $1,625. So his annual premium was $253.56. Very affordable. $21.13 a month. So I like that example just because we can kind of see how this particular client was able to use money for something else that was pretty important to him. So use ACA, and within ACA and Medicare, there's a great opportunity for specialty benefits. I know everybody on here has got their hands up at home. I don't even need to ask this question because I know everyone knows that there is a great opportunity for all 3 of these products out there. Why would I pair an accident CI or hospital indemnity plan with health insurance? We kind of already talked about this, right? We want to protect our clients' finances. We want them planning for the future, right? We don't want them taking all their savings and paying their medical bills with it. We don't want that. So this is a great way to prevent that from happening. What do a good salesperson and a good lawyer have in common? People hate to be sold, but they love to buy. What's the secret? What is it, Christy?
You got to buy these plans.
Questions. We got to ask questions. And we talked about this earlier. I talk about this all the time. It doesn't have to be a process, 30-minute process. Talking about these products. So look at this. What's the first thing I ask somebody? How are you, right? I'm their insurance agent. What are they going to tell me?
They're going to tell you everything the minute you start.
Your health, right?
Yeah.
That's what they want to tell me. So I'm saying, how are you? But secretly, I mean, how's your health, right? If I want to move this along, my presentation along quicker. But they're going to spill the beans anyway because they want to tell you about their health.
That's right.
I love this follow-up question. If you're not asking this question, you're doing a disservice to yourself and your client. What worries you about your current health insurance plan? Because what are they going to say? If they're on an under 65 plan, what are they going to say, Christy?
The premium, they're going to say everything. They're going to tell you everything about their plan.
Well, they're going to say they're out of pockets, right?
Oh, yeah.
They don't like that. Nobody likes a $9,100 out of pocket. I hate that.
Yeah.
If I broke my leg and I'm mad about breaking my leg, and on top of that, I have to pay $900 or $9,000 for something I don't even like or didn't even want, I'm pretty outraged about that. Right. I don't want to deal with that at all. So great thing about that, if this client had accident, now all of a sudden I'm getting that money and I can just send that money right out. I don't have to worry about that bill at all. I can keep everything in my savings, my retirement, everything's just how it is, and move on with my life. So we need to be asking our client, what worries you? Because if you show them a Medicare Advantage, what worries you about this? First thing they're going to point at guaranteed every single time is going to be that copay.
Yeah.
You're just opening the door to offset that copay. So my response to that is, you know what? All my other clients tell me the exact same thing. And we have ways to offset that. And I'm going to show you those as we go through the new plans here. So you just got permission to talk about all the products to offset what worries your client, right? And we always say sell the product or sell the problem you solve, not the product. That's something that everyone should instill in their own mind.
That's right.
So what are some ways you can expect, if you ask the client this, to reach that large out-of-pocket max after they tell you they don't like that? What are they going to say? They're going to think of the easy things, right? An accident, cancer, heart attack, stroke. Maybe I'm in the hospital. That's where these products come in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So 3 simple ways, or I'm sorry, 3 simple steps to selling a total benefit solution for your client. You got to know the customer. You got to know them. Only one way to know them is to ask them questions. And you got to know about their concerns, right? So you got to uncover the concerns, create the need by asking simple questions. We're not talking about rocket science here. Simple questions. And it's just, to me, it's one question. That's the key. We got to ask that question. We got to ask it right at the beginning. And then we got to link the needs to the product benefits to provide a total benefit solution, right? So we just talked about this. Sell the problem you solve, not the product. That's the mindset we all need when we're dealing with our clients, not only for it's this, and this isn't just for our own pocketbook, right? But we will make a lot of extra money, but this is to protect our clients, their finances, help them plan for the future, right?
That's correct.
We always say some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting, right? Don't sweat it. We got to make sure we're talking about this with every client every time. Key is repetition, right? We got to keep talking about it over and over again. Only one way to get better, right? Some people are afraid to offer it. We got to figure out a way. Start with that one question. If you're one of the people that are like, I don't know where to position this, and ask that one question right at the beginning. Try it. See what your client says, and then report back to me because I'm curious. I want to know.
Okay.
How do you get started?
Get appointed.
Very easy. You can always reach out to me to get appointed. I send you a link. Click on it. Takes just a couple minutes. You're appointed. You can obviously reach out to Christy. If Christy doesn't have the link, she can reach out to me. I'll send it to her. We both will have it, so we can set you guys up very, very quickly. Actually, you guys have a contracting person, don't you?
We do.
Yeah. So what was her name again?
Heather Talley.
Heather. So you can always reach out directly to Heather or me. If you don't want to bother Heather, Heather's busy.
Or me.
You can always call me.
Okay.
I'm always available for you. I may be busy, like obviously I'm doing this right now, but I'll get back to you very, very quickly. Here you can see the plan at a glance. This is the one-page document I was telling you about earlier. And I'm going to send, Christy, just in case you don't have that link, I'm going to send you that link and you can send it out to everybody, and they'll have all the marketing materials at their fingertips. Awesome. Rate sheets, these are in there. The great thing about CI and the accident is all the rates are right there. You can look at the rate sheet and get a rate for somebody in 2 seconds. You don't actually have to, so you can print these out, throw them in your binder. Hey, how much would that cost for me? Flip through your binder. You don't have to go to the website to quote it. Hospital indemnity is going to be a little different because there is a million different rates you can offer. It's between $100, $900 and $10 increments.
Right.
And it's age rated. So there's so many rates you can offer your client. Very, very easy to do a quote on LifeSecure's agent portal. And we do have a training portal, and I'm sure Christy has that information. If not, I can send it to her. But you guys can log right in. You can write an app, see how easy it is. You can be the client, send yourself an email, see how easy it is on their end. But you can see here, quote all 3 products. Actually takes probably 30 seconds to quote all 3 products. And you can see on the bottom, I can print it out. I can email it to the client. Or on the right, I can just click client says sign me up, apply now, boom, I'm in the application. Ready to go. Very, very easy. I want to show everybody this. Just a couple examples here. We know somebody enrolling new to Medicare, first time, you're getting paid $611, right, Christy?
Yes.
Check this out. If I have somebody who I talked about, the out of pocket, they like that $5,000 accident. We know we have somebody that sells that like hotcakes that works with us. You know who I'm talking about, Christy.
Mhm.
Somebody that works very closely with Insurance Advisors Direct, sells a ton of this on Medicare Advantage. $5,000 personal accident, $5,000 a CI, $330 to offset that copay. How much does that cost? $82.79. How much does a med sup cost? Way more than that, right? And we know the rates increase on that. This rate stays the same.
Right.
Look at the difference in commission. $1,086. Let's take a look at a little more simpler example, because maybe your clients love this. $330 a day to offset the copay, and then we're doing skilled nursing. So we're offsetting copays here. That's what my client's most concerned with. Premium. This client's 65. Remember, that's going to be even lower if they're 64. $39.52. Very affordable. Look at the difference in the commission. $824.41. So we'll take a look at the renewals. These are the exact same examples. 306. Obviously, if you're selling somebody new on the Life Secure plan, you see even bigger difference, right? So this is the exact 82.79 example. Same commission amounts, but you can see it makes a bigger difference if you have, most of your clients are going to be the renewals anyway. So here we have 39.52. So we're bumped going from 306 to 519.41. Check out this one. Just a little different example. $330 a day. Hospital indemnity, $500 lump sum admission. Maybe your client likes that idea. The ER and ambulance rider, only $37.83 a month. But look at the difference in commission. You're up to $510.28. Just another example, $53.64. Look what you're doing to your commission. I like to show these, though, just because we know we're not in this business for charity. We want to take care of our clients. Absolutely. That should be our main concern. We're just naturally going to get paid a bunch of money if we do right by our clients, period. That's just how it works.
All right.
So here you can see agent support number, policyholder support. They're always available for you guys. Oh my, that's my cell phone number. Write it down. Take a picture. Do whatever you got to do. There's my email address. Feel free to call me, like I said, anytime you want to. I'm always there for you. I'm going to leave you guys with this. Jody Williamson told me this at a meeting once. A lot of people take quotes from books. This guy said this directly to me, and I loved it. It's unethical to sell someone something they don't need. We all know that, right? It is also unethical to not sell somebody something they do need. We need to make sure that we're covering our clients and protecting our clients. And these products are a great way to do that. So let's start today. Let's offer these to our clients. If you're not appointed, let's get you appointed, and you'll have access very quickly. The appointment time is super quick with Life Secure. So feel free to reach out to me. I want to thank everyone for joining. I really appreciate the time. Thank you, Christy, so much.
You have a great weekend, and everybody, I'll be in touch within the next day or two, and Scott will be in touch.
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right. Take care.
Have a great day.
You too.